Bandai figurized standard Dragon Ball Super Broly movie Gogeta Blue, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Gogeta, was released here in Japan on the 8th of December for the recommended retail price of 3,200 yen. However, prices do vary, so shop around because you can definitely pick him up for a lot less. I say that like he's readily available everywhere, which unfortunately he isn't at the moment. The official release date, as I mentioned, was the 8th of December. However, some stores in Japan, like AmiAmi, won't actually have their stock until after Christmas. As for everywhere else, Gogeta hits stateside, I think early next year, coinciding with the movie Broly release in late January. So a lot of you have asked me where I bought a Gogeta, and I know most of you who follow me regularly know I actually live here in Japan. For those who have joined me for the first time, welcome. Thanks for watching, and to answer your question, right here in Japan. I get most of my stuff from a glorious collector's heaven called Yodobashi Camera, which is basically an electronics store here in Japan that sells more than just electronics, but they have one floor dedicated to collectibles, toys, hobby supplies, and, of course, Dragon Ball figures. Anyway, long intro, let's jump straight into the packaging. As always, I love the artwork on these model kits. Beautifully drawn artwork, vibrant colors, just really love looking at the boxes. Here's a better look at the sides, pretty pictures of Gogeta in various poses. A little description of Gogeta and what role he plays in the new movie, which was freaking awesome, by the way. Definitely going to watch it again. Don't worry, nothing spoilery written here, I think. No, nothing. It's all good. Alright, so here is Gogeta all built up. No paint, of course. I wanted to give you guys a review on its stock, and if I find time to paint him up, which I do want to, I'll probably do a review on that too. But if you missed the build video, I'll have a link to that in the description, so go ahead and check that out. But now, on to the model kit itself. Looking first at the head sculpt, Figurize has always had this more rounded, cartoonish look to it, and I think in this case for Gogeta Blue, or Gogeta, it actually works really well because it kind of reminds me of how, you know, Gogeta is drawn or animated in the movie. It's a lot different to what we're seeing in Dragon Ball Z or in Dragon Ball Super. The animation is a little more, I don't want to say cartoony, but it is definitely different. And I think the aesthetic that Figurize has for its kits matches really well. I love the hair sculpt. It looks fantastic. It's the metallic blue has this nice sheen to it. Obviously, the black, the standard head also is the same sculpt, just colored in black. Looks great as well. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the head sculpt. So Gogeta does use some reused parts. The most obvious are the pants from the Goku mold, recolored and off-white. Now usually I'm good with reusing Goku's gi for gi wearing characters. It's detailed, it's a nice sculpt and works really well when it's posed. But in this case, I really wanted Figurize to go with something new. In my mind, Gogeta's pants were always baggier and had that kind of distinct crossover fold like Gotenks. I know it's done to cut costs, but I would have really loved to see new pants on him. Nevertheless, it's not terrible, and definitely better than the upcoming Ultra Instinct Goku from Figurize that we're getting next year. You know, come on guys, you know, he's got ripped pants. The pants are pristine on that model kit. The rest of Gogeta's Metamoran costume is really well executed. The vest is hard plastic and has a natural drape to it. You can see all the creases and all the wrinkles, especially here on the back. Really well done. And I know what you're thinking, guys, how hard is it to sculpt a vest? But it looks really natural and it works really well, I think. Going over the body, which is completely new, and looking at reference photos, is probably the base torso for the Ultra Instinct Goku. So the torso is actually separate to the vest, and you can have Gogeta without it if you wanted to. You can take off the vest, it's a completely separate piece. But going to the lower half, another little nitpick I have is the belt actually, or at least the ends of the belt. Like Krillin, the belt snaps on like a hook and hinges up and down, but you don't get any other movement. The sculpt itself is pretty bland and hollow on the backside, which I can forgive, but I think it would have been a lot better to have the belt on a ball joint. I think that side-to-side movement is really important. Luckily, this is a model kit, and model kits are easy to kit bash. Ball joints aren't hard to find, and sculpting a new belt from plastic sheets shouldn't be too hard either. Lastly, ankle guards and feet are also new parts, and definitely rounds up a really satisfying figure overall, even with the used parts. So the articulation on Gogeta is done really well, like most of Figurizer's kits, sometimes even better than actual figures themselves. We get a ball joint in the head. Obviously you can pop off the head to swap it out with the base head. You get a ball joint there and a ball joint at the base. And the neck joint is hinged, so you do get that bit of extra articulation there as well. So looking up and looking down, definitely not a problem. Obviously he has the side to side. It is a little hindered by the shoulder pads, the collar pieces here, but you can kind of, you know, position it over those collar pieces. So no problems there. Gogeta has some nice butterfly joints, so you can move his arm, his shoulders forward and back. His shoulders here are like Broly shoulders, where they're engineered with those two interlocking pieces. So he can move his arms past 90 degrees, 360 rotation there. One thing I do want to mention, you can see it here, is that though the vest isn't too intrusive of the articulation, if you push it a little bit too far, those those yellow shoulder pieces here do tend to pop off. And you know, it's not a big deal, you can just pop them back in, but if you do want to make it a little bit more permanent, if that is a little bit annoying for you, you can actually dab some glue on there and you know, stick that down permanently. These kits don't require glue, they are snap-on kits, so it is an option and it is totally up to you. But another thing is, if you do glue that shoulder piece in place, it'll be a little bit hard for you to get this vest off if you do want Gogeta to have that kind of like vestless look to him. Going back to the arm articulation, he does have bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, which does go past 90 degrees, which is enough. Because his hands are on ball joints, you can swap them out. He does have swivel, and he does have some slight hinge there as well. There isn't too much ab crunch here, and that's not because of the vest. The actual base torso doesn't give you too much movement or articulation, but you do get a nice waist swivel. The waist here is on a ball joint. You can pop that out like so. So you do get some movement there at the waist. As I mentioned before, the belt is articulated, but it only hinges up and down, no side to side. Leg articulation is great. You can actually get him to do these side splits all the way out, and pretty much all the way forward as well. He does have a single jointed knee, but it goes all the way back and actually looks really nice, like the Goku kit. When you articulate it, it's all connected there. Gogeta does have a boot cut. There is no ankle swivel, but the boot cut does make up for it. His feet moves down and up pretty far, and you do get some really nice ankle tilt. Alright, so for accessories, as you guys already know, he does come with two heads. The base form head with a neutral face right here, and you also get a shouting face as well. You also get stickers. For Gogeta's kit, there are only two stickers which go inside the shouting face. I did lose those stickers, I don't know where I put them, but I'm never going to use them anyway. I'm just going to paint it up. He does get, you know, some red there for his tongue, but those are the faces and the head sculpt for the base form. And of course the blue, the Super Saiyan God form there, his neutral face and his shouting face. I do prefer the shouting face, it looks pretty awesome. Really nice blue here, kind of like a teal color. For hands, you don't get too many hands, you only get 2 sets of hands. His 2-fisted hands, which we have seen before on other kits. And you do get a pair of blast hands as well. But the good thing about this is if you do, if you are collecting the other kits as well, you can interchange the hands because the ball joints do fit. So here are a couple of hands from Goku and from Trunks. So you can have Gogeta with other hands as well, which is pretty neat. In terms of blast effects, he comes with a Final Flash blast effect. That's from the Gogeta kit, not the Gogeta kits, from the Vegeta kit, sorry. The short one, the short blast. You just plug that in there. And the longer beam there as well. And that just plugs in. Obviously these effects, they do have a peg hole which you can plug into the base, which comes with the kit, and you just plug it in like that. There we go. And you also get a Kamehameha charged effect. Pretty cool, clear. And it's not the same as the Goku kit. It is actually a little different. The beams are slightly larger. The actual the actual effect is a little larger as well, so that is different. And you also get a beam, Kamehameha beam as well, which is pretty nice. I'm probably going to paint these up. Not a huge fan of clear pieces. I know some people are, but I'll probably paint this up. So last but not least, you do get a clip here that you can peg onto Gogeta's that you can plug into Gogeta's belt, and that's so you can have him in some flight poses. You can plug that into a Tamashii stand or any stand that has a peg hole that fits a peg that fits that peg hole. And this is too short, but you get the idea. But it's a nice addition. Alright guys, so just a quick size comparison with some other figurized figures, mainly Broly, just to give you an idea of how he'll look like with the upcoming new movie Broly, which is coming out next month, I believe. Yes, next month, with Ultra Instinct Goku. Here he is also with Figure Arts Super Saiyan God Goku. And yeah, you can see the size difference here, just, you know, definitely a huge size difference between the two lines. But you know, whether you look at this line as your meat and potatoes for Dragon Ball figures or purely as a filler until Figure Arts releases their own counterpart, Figure Arts for me has definitely made more shelf presence in my collection personally. What I love about this line is that they are quick on their release. I mean, really quick. They give us some fairly interesting characters, or they have more potential to give us figures that we might not see in the near future with other lines, especially for Figure Arts. But they are also really, you know, much more affordable as well, which is definitely a plus for me. Add in the build fun factor and customization potential, and you've got yourself a really fun line of kits, figures, or whatever you want to call them. Gogeta, in my opinion, is definitely one of the top kits in this line. Design-wise, the Metamoran costume has always, for me personally, been more visually interesting. Figure-wise, I think, really knocked this one out. I don't like the belt, gotta admit that. I wanted new pants and an extra set of hands. but it's a really fantastic looking kit, and I'm sure someone with some decent painting skills will make it look 10 times better than it already is. Once again, I'm really happy with the kit. Lots of fun putting it together. Love the new parts. Really posable like most of the line. And the first fully posable Gogeta figure out there so far. Of course, I can't wait for the Figure Arts version, but I definitely recommend this one, guys. If you do see him, pick him up. Jump on the hype train, guys. It's Gogeta Blue. Alright, hope you enjoyed that review, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Likes and comments are always appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please do feel free to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you all really soon. Hopefully for Figure Arts Krillin, Kid Krillin, which I will have up soon. So do look out for that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye for now.